Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Whispering Words.
Yeah, it's great to have you all here. Today we're doing something a little different, right, Vanessa?
Exactly. We've decided to start labeling our episodes by English levels. So this one, drumroll please, is perfect for B1 intermediate learners.
That means if you're comfortable with most day-to-day conversations but still looking to expand your vocabulary and understanding, this episode is a great fit.
Absolutely. Plus, if you're not sure what B1 means, don't worry. It just means you're progressing, beyond beginner. You're growing your skills, and honestly, that's so exciting.
Very exciting. And as always, we'll take it slow where needed, so you can follow along easily. Oh, and feel free to pause and replay anything you're not sure about.
Right, because this podcast isn't just about listening. It's about learning too. So, Robert, what are we jumping into today?
Today we're tackling a big question: the link between money and happiness. It's something people have debated for ages, Vanessa.
Oh, totally. Like, does money actually make us happy, or is it just one piece of the puzzle?
That's the big question, right? Why do so many people link money and happiness? I think it's because money feels so tangible. You can see it, count it, spend it, and that makes it seem like the key to everything.
Yeah, totally. It's like, it feels measurable, right? Like, hey, if I have more money, I must be happier.
Exactly, but here's the thing. Back when I was chasing a big promotion, I thought getting it would solve everything. More money, more security, all the rest. But instead, what happened was burnout. Complete exhaustion.
Wait, really? Were you working like nonstop?
Pretty much. And you know what's interesting? I was earning more, but I wasn't enjoying anything. It was just this kind of relentless push for, well, more.
More, but not better. That's the trap, right?
Totally. And that's where this idea of contentment comes in. Contentment is about peaceful satisfaction, not about having more, but about appreciating what you already have.
I love that. So it's not money itself, it's how we think about it?
Right. Honestly, your worth as a person isn't tied to your paycheck. Or it shouldn't be. I once met this guy who lived in this tiny, modest home, and yet he was one of the happiest people I've ever met. Contentment radiated from him. It was inspiring.
So cool. It's like, instead of saying, I need that fancy car, maybe asking, do I need it to be happy?
Exactly. And that's where the word worth really stands out. Worth isn't about dollars. It's about personal value. How you feel about yourself, the relationships you've built, the life you're living.
Yes, like self-worth, not just net worth.
Exactly that. So you've got to ask yourself, are you chasing money or are you chasing meaning?
Thinking about what you just said, it really resonates. When I look back at my happiest moments, it's funny. They weren't about paychecks or gadgets. It's things like family dinners, sitting around and laughing together. No fancy restaurants or big trips, just simple, meaningful moments.
That's such a great example. It shows that happiness isn't about things. It's about the experiences and the people we're with. And I think that brings us to an important question. Is there a difference between comfort and real satisfaction?
Oh, for sure. Comfort is like when you buy that cozy couch or get the latest phone. It feels nice in the moment, but contentment, that's deeper. It sticks with you.
Exactly. Comfort can be bought, but contentment, you have to find it. I mean, how many people do we know who have all these material comforts but still feel, well, lost?
Totally. Like, you can be in this beautiful, luxurious house but feel lonely, Or you could be in a tiny little apartment, but if it's filled with love and laughter, that's where real contentment is.
True. And I think it's important to remember that contentment isn't about settling. It's about understanding what truly matters and appreciating the small, meaningful things around us.
Yeah, it's like, rather than always asking, what's next? Maybe thinking, what do I already have?
Exactly. And once you shift that perspective, it's amazing how much lighter life feels. You stop chasing this idea of more and start valuing the enough you already have, or at least the enough you can work toward.
That makes me think, Robert, if contentment is appreciating what really matters, then why do people often say that time is the most valuable kind of wealth?
Good question. I think it's because, well, you can't get it back, right? You can earn more money, buy more things, but once time is spent, it's gone.
Exactly. And how often do we think about that? The idea that time, not money, is what we should be careful about spending?
Yeah, and that's why presence is so important. Being fully there, in the moment, instead of worrying about what's next or scrolling endlessly on your phone, it makes such a difference.
Oh, so true. I mean, have you ever sat with someone who keeps checking their phone? It's like you're physically there, but their mind is somewhere else.
Oh, absolutely. And I think presence ties closely to the joy of giving. Giving someone your full attention, your time, that's such a meaningful gift. It reminds me of this one time at work.
Wait, what happened?
So one of my coworkers seemed really down one day, you know. I noticed she didn't bring lunch, so I just, on a whim, offered her half of mine. It wasn't a big deal, honestly, but Vanessa, the smile on her face, it completely lit up my day.
Oh, wow, that's so sweet. And you're right. It's those small, thoughtful acts that really stick with people.
Exactly. It wasn't about the food itself. It was about being present and recognizing someone else's need. Moments like that make us feel, I don't know, more connected, more human.
Yes, connection over consumption, every time. And I think that's where real happiness lies. Being present for others and for yourself, instead of just chasing, another paycheck or another promotion.
Totally agree. And speaking of chasing, let's talk about burnout for a second.
Oh, good one. Burnout is that feeling of complete exhaustion, right? Like when you've been saying yes to everything and suddenly you're just done.
Exactly. And it's what happens when we're not careful about how we spend our time. It's why reflecting on how you use your time and who you spend it with is so important.
So true. And that connects to the idea of presence, doesn't it? Real happiness, I think, is about moments that don't just drift away because you were distracted, but ones you hold on to because you were fully there. You know, Robert, as we were just talking about cherishing moments and being present, it's really something to think about how quickly time seems to pass when you're in a meaningful conversation.
I know, it's been a fascinating journey. Talking about money, happiness, and everything in between. It's such a relevant topic for all of us.
Absolutely. And, we'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you agree that happiness isn't about how much money you have? Or maybe you have your own story to share about finding contentment?
Yes, definitely let us know. You can leave a comment or even share this with someone who might be going through similar thoughts about money and happiness.
And hey, don't forget, we've got a whole lot more episodes waiting for you. So if you find our podcast helpful for your English learning, or just life in general, go ahead and explore.
We're here to make learning engaging and meaningful, one episode at a time. And remember, take it at your own pace. The journey is just as important as the destination.
Exactly. And before we go, there's one thing I want you guys to keep in mind. Sometimes the smallest moments carry the deepest joy.
So true. And with that, we'll wrap up here. Thanks for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to share these conversations with you.
Take care, everyone, and we'll catch you in the next episode.